It's so weird. Hey besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, as you can see by the title, I'm testing out Beauty Bay's new primer stick. So this is actually a matte blur primer stick. So it's supposed to mattify your skin, blur your pores and just be a good primer. It's obviously in a stick formula. It's supposed to make your application obviously easier and probably quicker. We'll see if that worked. I feel like I definitely touched on some points in this review that I don't normally. You'll see how far I was impressed. I did actually give it a rating at the end as well. I've never done that before. I just felt like it was quite different, so I felt like I needed to do that. If you are thinking about getting it, there is 4 grams in here, so not loads, but I feel like the idea of it is probably you don't have to apply that much. It also says 50 ml, so 4 grams and 50 ml. Even though it's not a liquid. I'm just checking my emails because I don't know how much it was. And one last thing, it was £8, so just under the £10 mark. I feel like it's probably more of an expensive end of a drugstore primer. I know obviously you can get them cheaper, and I know like there are primers out there, there are a lot more, but for the drugstore kind of brands, I feel like £6 is like kind of your average. It's just under £10. So yeah, my eyebrows are playing a really horrible game today, so we're just gonna pretend this is what it looks like. For the actual review, let's get on to the video. So I've got my box. I'm actually gonna like go over my whole face with micellar water just because I've applied a moisturiser before, and although that's fine, I do just want to try it on like completely clean skin because I feel like that's what will give it its pure test. I know like normally I'd use a moisturiser and then a primer, but I feel like for the purpose of the video I'm just going to use a primer. So I'm not going to talk about this my whole video because I did that last video, but I've been doing theory tests all morning and so I got a 50 out of 50 on one of them, and I think the highest I got was 49, but like to get all 50, can you imagine if I do that in the real thing? No pressure. I feel like this is going to be such a cool product because I know it's completely different, but if you watched my earlier videos and if you've been here for a while, I tried the Boots Glow Cleansing Balm stick. I know like it's a cleansing balm, not a primer, but like the fact it's like a stick, sometimes I find them quite difficult because obviously they're not like unhygienic, but you've obviously got to clean them as well, and they're a bit harder to clean than like me just spraying Clean on my bronzer. But I feel like it is quite a cool concept, especially if you're travelling. I have applied concealer, so please ignore the concealer because I am going to try and keep it on for the most part because otherwise I'm going to have to redo the blue. So just bear with it. Also, nails! It's so exciting. Anyway, should I tie my hair up? I think we'll be okay. Let's open the package. How is everyone's weeks? Because it's Thursday today. What, in the space of a second? Okay, we're really gonna hope the sun goes away because it's just had a little bit of a moment. But yeah, so I've been doing my theory test all morning and I've got more videos to edit than Ian Beale's Wives. I was actually going to film this tomorrow, but I thought, I started doing my eye makeup and I was like, I don't know if I like it enough to do it in a video. So it's here. It's made it. Anyway, this is the size of the packaging. It's like, it's not that small. It does look smaller though in the actual packaging like this. I love how they're obviously trying to come out with a whole range of products from like their brand only. It does smell unfragranced, which is usually a benefit. It's literally just called a matte priming stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply it all over my skin. I want to see how thick it is as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and apply my normal makeup, see how it works underneath it, see how it works on its own. So this is what it looks like. I'm just going to start applying it. I also have got makeup on my okay. So my first impression is quite like not a lot of products coming off. Just feels smooth once I've done it, but it feels like I've really got to push down. It does feel quite like dry. It's not like well, I suppose it wouldn't be really wet. Oh, hang on, here we go. When I touch it afterwards, it feels quite smooth, but like it does feel like I've got to apply quite a bit of pressure to get anything off. I suppose it's different to any other primer I have as well, because it's kind of like most primers are in like cream or liquid form, whereas this is literally like a stick. It's like applying deodorant to your skin, but like one of those roll-ons that aren't wet, you know, like the cream ones. And obviously it's clear as well, so you can't exactly see if you've got enough product out. I have no idea how this is supposed to work. I just feel like I'm kind of giving my skin a massage, and I'm probably putting far too much on. And also I suppose you could only use this on yourself. Don't feel like this would work if you're a makeup artist. Obviously not. Do I feel like my skin's gone paler? I kind of do. I'm not sure, maybe there is some colour to it and I've applied too much. It's so weird. If I apply it to my finger, can you see? You can kind of see. There's not much though. Now I'm thinking, have I put too much on? It reminds me of a glue stick, and I'm really tempted to just push it up and see how much product there is, but imagine if it falls off. What if it falls off, guys? Okay, so you get that much product. So not an overly generous amount, but you're probably not supposed to apply as much as I've just applied. I definitely can feel it now it's on my skin. Feels like I've applied, it doesn't feel wet to touch, it kind of just feels like I've applied a moisturiser and left it on for maybe 5 minutes and it's started to soak in. I definitely can feel it there now. So it's worth all of that. I'd actually love to do an ASMR video, but I had absolutely no idea where to start. It does feel like I've definitely put too much on. It feels like I need to like spread it across my skin. It feels quite like creamy. I wouldn't, if you'd put it on me and like, I don't know, it's a stick or anything, I would say it's way more creamy than liquidy, but it's as thin as a liquid. It's not very thick, which I quite like. It feels as light as a liquid, but it does feel really creamy. I'm going to show you if it has actually blurred out my pores, because they do look a little bit more blurred now, and it kind of looks like I've maybe like put a little bit of a filter on them. They do look a lot smoother, like they're not so like, I don't really think about it too much because I feel like it's completely normal, but from the point of view that it's blur, it has kind of slightly blurred them. That is my first impression. I'm going to go and apply some concealer and I'll be back. Well, I literally applied one layer of concealer, and obviously concealer does cover things up anyway. This area feels soft considering it's normally quite dry. Not dry, but the driest area of my face. This feels really plump. Like, I feel like I could play tennis off my face. That weird. What a weird comparison. Who thinks of that? I don't feel like the concealer can dry straight away, because the thing is, I actually think the way the concealer lasts on your skin sometimes is to do with what's underneath. Sometimes if I'm in a rush and I spray my face with like a vitamin E spray, quickly put some moisturiser on and quickly apply my concealer, even if it's not completely wet, it does actually sit really weird, and like I find it really hard to spread it. I feel like my main review will be once I've done my foundation and you'll be able to see it underneath. The only thing is, obviously it's matte, it doesn't say it's going to make me glow at all, so I really want to see what it's like under a glowy foundation, because I feel like that would be the fairest test. I feel like if I chose a matte foundation, then it would be the foundation, wouldn't it, like that's made it matte, whereas if I pick a glowy foundation with a matte primer, it should balance it out so it's not as glowy. So I'm going to use the Born to Glow because that is the glowiest one I have. It's not as high coverage. I was thinking about also using the L'Oreal True Match, maybe to mix it with, but I think first of all I'm just going to go straight in with the Born to Glow. I'll actually be able to tell, do you know what I mean? Like, I'll actually be able to see if it is the primer. Okay, so I've applied my first day of foundation. I am thinking there is still a bit of a glow, like here and here. There's not as much as normal. Now, it's a very, very glowy foundation, so I'm not expecting it to just go away. And I don't exactly want it to be that. It was just kind of, this is the glowiest one I've got. Let's see how much we can mattify it. And now look at it, like obviously it's not completely done, but I don't feel like there's loads of glow. Obviously it can become in little areas like here where I haven't applied much of the primer. My Cupid's bow is actually like more prone to obviously be oily. I feel like it's definitely made the application process really smooth and easy. It's not like made my foundation patchy at all, and I really do struggle with this foundation quite a bit sometimes because it's so light coverage. I normally always mix it, so I feel like it's stuck down quite well, and it literally, I always have to mix it. I never ever use this foundation on its own. I feel like it's just too light. It reminds me of like a BB cream unless it's mixed. I love it mixed, but obviously I haven't mixed it today. I'm going to go and apply the rest of my cream products and then I'll come back and see how it works, and then see how it works with powder as well. I don't want it to get rid of all the glow because I'm going to come to put powder on. I don't want to use a matte stick, a matte foundation and then a matte powder, because then my face would look quite matte. So I'm quite glad I've done it like this. It does feel quite smooth. It looks very, very, very smooth. I think I'm going to insert a picture of me using a back camera flash and obviously no filters to show you what it looks like close up, because it does look very smooth and it does look quite high coverage, especially like my forehead area. It's not got much concealer on, just here, so I know it's the way that the foundation has stuck down to the primer, and it never normally does it like that. So I've done my base makeup. It doesn't feel too glowy, it just looks quite matte. It does look like I've applied quite a bit of powder, so I am really happy with it. It's just not like extra glowy, which is what I wanted because it normally is. And then I feel like I've got to apply quite a bit of powder, and I don't mind doing that, but I do quite like the fact it's quite matte on its own, so you don't have to apply powder. I'm going to finish it up and then I'm going to come at you with my final thoughts. I do want to tell you a few things before I finish, because I feel like there's a few things I'm not quite sure on. So this is the final look. I brushed my curls out. They look so different. Here comes golden eye. I haven't even put powder on. I feel like it would just make me feel too matte. I might just apply the tiniest bit. Because I feel like that's the only place that really like my concealer starts to shift a bit. I am incredibly happy. The review I'm going to give is, all my reviews have been dead honest. If I don't like it, or this one part I don't like, then I'll say. I don't feel like it set it apart for me, so I will be using it every single day. Watch me and this, edit it, and then it will work amazing the next few times. But I just feel like it's not like your average primer. It's nice that it's in a stick because easier to travel with. You're not using too much product Even though it might seem like you've got to apply it quite a lot, I feel like it did apply evenly at the end. You don't have to keep emptying the tube. Obviously if it's in a pot, you're not going to put too much on. It's kind of evenly spread. I'm just not sure if it really like set the bar for me. It did exactly everything it said. It blurred my pores. It did feel so soft. It didn't actually say that, but it did feel so soft on my skin. My skin does feel soft anyway now. I feel like even regardless of all the layers I've put on, it does its job, so I can't complain. Like, it's not doing anything. It's just not made my experience any easier. I did feel like it took out quite a lot of the oils in my skin that were originally there. Obviously I've then gone on and put like the glowiest foundation that I could find as a test. You see, like the golden hour, I can never ever keep my eyes open. But I just feel like out of all my primers, I wouldn't say it's my favourite, which is fine. Like, it's fine. It hasn't really made my makeup look any different. I never like give mine a number out of 10. I would probably give it like a 6 or a 7. It's very good for everything it says. I just don't feel like it's really set the bar for me. You'd think it would make it easier, obviously being in a stick. It's quick application. I'm not sure whether it's just because it was new. It just took me a while because I was thinking, am I supposed to be getting something off here, or is it just coming off clear? Let's figure that out. Obviously it was fine. That is my first experience. If I do use it again, then I'll make a part 2, because I just feel like when things like this happen, I edit it back and I've done a makeup with it again the next day and I feel like, oh my god, it's so good. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all very soon in a brand new video. Love you, bye!